In this video, we will hear from financial expert Andy Schectman and his perspective on the rise of the new world reserve gold-backed currency that will challenge the dominance of the US dollar, and how these geopolitical forces are leading to a modern-day gold rush by central banks among Western and Eastern nations. Andy Schectman has been a prominent figure in the financial services and precious metals industry for more than 25 years. If you are a prepared investor, the moral and warning of what you're about to hear can best be summed up by this classic quote by the Hall of Fame and professional hockey player Wayne Gretzky: "I skate to where the puck is going to be, not to where it was."
Most of the people that I talk to are not buying gold and silver to get wealthy. They're buying gold and silver because they believe that the dollar is in trouble and the markets are in trouble, and that it's about return of your money more than return on your money. And so most people that I would talk to would have no interest whatsoever in selling when it doubles in price, any more than they are in selling if it loses 40% of its value. So all of these countries that are moving away from the Western system, that are joining the BRICS nations, that are on the Belt Road Initiative, a new currency that's going to be pegged to commodities. Do you think there's any coincidence that they're buying the only other Tier 1 reserve asset? Do you think there's any coincidence that they're very quietly accumulating gold and pulling it off of the exchanges and silver, 38 million ounces to India last month or the month of August? And realize this is one big game. This is a global shift. The West has controlled the game for centuries, and I think the rest of the world, in and of themselves, even 10 years ago, couldn't stand up to the West. But now they're all joining together, and I think they all have economies put together that dwarf the West. They have military presence that put together, they dwarf the West. And they're building relationships based upon mutual trust and cooperation. They're building a relationship against the Western hegemony. That gets them to the table, right? But what is the glue that is going to solidify is the commodities they're all massively accumulating, that is going to peg a new system. That China is front and center in saying we're going to issue a new world reserve currency on behalf of the BRICS. Now you have Russia and China standing arm in arm on a stage a month ago saying they are announcing a new world reserve currency. At the same time, you have gold leaving the COMEX market at the fastest monthly rate ever. So how does it all blow up? Why do you own gold and silver? Why? Remember, gold was classified the only Tier 1 asset in the world next to US dollars. Remember, the biggest money in the world, the central banks, commercial banks, the sovereign wealth funds, the family offices, they're all buying it. They're all taking it off the exchanges, removing counterparty risk. You can see the drawdown from all of the major exchanges. How does this all blow up? Simple. Saudi Arabia joins the BRICS nations. Every OPEC producing country, all 13 of them are on the Belt Road. They all sit on a stage with their arms around each other. Saudi Arabia says, "Hey, US, thank you. It's been a hell of a ride. We appreciate it. As you know, we are being now protected by China and Russia. In fact, we struck a joint military cooperation agreement the day you idiots pulled out of Afghanistan the way you did. And we realized that maybe you weren't the best partners to tie our wagon to. You know, you sent over President Biden to beg for oil. He didn't beg for oil. He hasn't even gone to Mexico or the Texas-Mexico border. He came and asked us to not join the BRICS nations. But we've decided after contemplation that, hey, you know what? It's in our best interest, and all of OPEC, who is on the Belt Road, that we're going to open up energy purchases in other currencies, including the yuan, the rupee, the ruble, maybe euro, gold, and dollars. Like that, it's over. Because what happens? Every country on the planet who has had to own dollars since 1974 dumps them. And if you ever saw the moving trading places where one Duke brother says to the other Duke brother, "Sell, Mortimer, sell," because everyone will start dumping dollars. As the dollar collapses, that's pillar number one. The dollar value collapses. What happens when those dollars collapse and hit the U.S. shores? Hyperinflation. What happens as an adverse reaction of hyperinflation? Interest rates spike. You have to have higher interest rates to compensate for the loss of purchasing power. When everyone dumps dollars and Saudi Arabia and OPEC say, thanks for the memories, folks, and everyone dumps dollars and interest rates spike, stocks, bonds, real estate at the same time collapse. along with the dollar. The four pillars of wealth in this country, stocks, bonds, dollars, and real estate, will all collapse as interest rates spike and as the dollar is globally dumped. And this is your great reset. This is how fragile the system truly is. And this is why you own precious metals. It is not to get rich, it's because we are on the cusp, I believe, of a change.
Any additional words of wisdom you have for people who are sensing this coming brewing storm and trying to make sure that they're positioned ahead of that so that they benefit from it at best and at least don't get hurt badly by it?
There's no question that everyone should be kind of on alert or keeping an eye on the movements of the Fed, or just simply get out of harm's way. When I talk to people about using gold and silver as a vehicle to protect oneself, it's not an investment, it's wealth. It's wealth that's lived through 2 world wars and German hyperinflation and the Great Depression and every pandemic, and is still immutable wealth. And while we are in a very scary boat of uncharted waters surrounding us, I still think the safest place to be is the life raft that is a 5,000-year-old gold and silver life raft, and look at it as wealth. And if you own enough of it, you'll be wealthy. Might even allow you not just to survive, but to thrive in what is coming.
Any wise, experienced investor will tell you preparation is key. If you are interested in protecting and preserving your wealth with physical, precious metals such as gold and silver, whether in the form of private investments or a gold IRA, see the links in the video description to see the best gold IRA and precious metal investment companies that we have personally researched and vetted. I will now leave you with another quote from the wise and famous Canadian hockey player Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Thank you for watching.